Yeah, it's a sucky swim at best.
Those were up, and they did.
We're smart, and my...
He told me enough.
No, I.
Here's Chuck.
Hey everyone, it's Don G. Corleone here, and I'm here with an epic rant. And this epic rant is going to be for a predictably January movie that came out to start this already great year. Yeah, and it's, of course, because it's a January release, it's a shitty horror movie to start off every year. Yeah, great. Because, hey, it's January, and January has to always be shit! Like all the time. Last year, we had some great movies like Plane, Missing. Some people think Megan, unrated version anyways, not the theatrical version. The theatrical version could kiss my ass. But a lot of times, we always gotta start the year with a shitty horror movie. And it's predictably from my favorite company, from one of the dumbest idiots of horror, Jason Blum. Yeah, that asshole. And it's gonna be for what was last weekend's first great shitty release, Night Swim. Ah, boy. So, what's the plot? Well, the plot of this movie, if anyone remotely gives a fuck, it's a guy that's forced into early retirement by an illness named Ray Waller, who was a baseball player. Him and his family move into a new house with his wife and 2 children, like every Blumhouse movie plot. He hopes that the backyard swimming pool will be fun for the kids and provides physical therapy for himself. But then a dark secret from the home's past soon unleashes a Maleforce that drags the family to the depths of an escapable terror. Yeah, so how was this made? Well, to keep this quick, the origins were from 2014 when Bryce McGuire, the director of this movie, wrote and directed a low-budget 5-minute short film of the same name with his friend Rob Blackhurst, and he filmed it in the backyard of the musician Michelle Branch. And of course, it starred Megaline Something in the lead role, and inspired the character of Izzy Walker in the film version. Then McGuire cited Blumhouse's own films, obviously, as well as other films. Stealing from other films, basically, like Poltergeist, Creature from Black Lagoon, Jaws, Christine, Night of Hunter in the Abyss. And, well, yeah. Pretty much that. Well, I won't be hard on the director because this is his first feature film. Maybe he'll get better, but this is definitely not off to a great start. So after this movie was shot and marketed, Night Swim was released in theaters last week on January 5th, 2024. And this film received obviously very sucky reviews from critics, and it's only made $11 million opening weekend at the box office. That's not a shock. Now, as for my reaction, well, guess what, guys? Because I need to kick off 2024's reviews, I went to see this movie because I need a film to kick off 2024's new releases. And I felt like after seeing the reviews, this would make a fun epic rant for my channel. And let me tell you, guess what, guys? Yeah, this movie sucked donkey dick. This film, then again, guys, I didn't even have hope for this film to begin with. It already looked bad from its trailers, and it predictably was. I mean, it's a January release. Who cares for those fucking movies? This year is already off to a sucky start with Night Swim. And I really, honestly, this better not be the whole year, and this better be a better year than last year. The first week of January always tends to release horror movies that are awful, and Night Swim is no exception. And Blumhouse standards, the thing about Blumhouse as a whole, you already know about Blumhouse. Their standards are never groundbreaking, and they barely give a shit about their films. And honestly, Jason Blum is honestly, in my eyes, a fucking idiot. Because he always thinks he's one of the best filmmakers in the world, and thinks all because he can't even get a good budget, because he's too much of a cheapskate. So that's why his films make profit, because he's too much of a fucking cheapskate to put in effort. The only exceptions from Blumhouse that have actually been good are the first 3 Insidious movies. I hate The Last Key and Red Door. Those were shitty Insidious films. The Purge, Anarchy, Split, Get Out, Halloween 2018 or unrated version of Halloween Kills. The theatrical version of Halloween Kills, definitely not. The Invisible Man, Freaky, and The Black Phone were the only things I liked from this company to begin with. Why? You want to know why? Because Jason Blum, the asshole, did not interfere his little shitty visions on those movies, and the directors were allowed to do with those films whatever the fuck they wanted. Why else do you think they succeeded? It's because Jason Blum didn't get bloody involved in them. Like he thinks he's some master director or something, which he's not. Can't make a good horror movie to save his life. Like, you want to know what he did, guys? Paranormal. He obviously was involved with a found footage franchise. Guess which found footage franchise it was? The Paranormal Activity franchise. Yeah, the one that got spawned by that film about the dumbass husband who brings cameras in the house, toys with a demon, puts his wife in danger. That franchise. Then, of course, the Ouija, which was also a shitty movie. Unfriended was also shitty. Just about, with the exception of the films I mentioned I liked, just about a majority of their stuff is the same shitty ghost shit. In all the films. So who cares? Like, how does this movie even begin? Well, how the beginning of this movie starts, well, we start off in the year 1992. We see a girl go out to a pool one night to retrieve a toy boat that belongs to her brother, and then when she tried to get the boat, the pool then pulls her underwater and she's dead. Then we cut to the present day. We cut to a family named the Walters, and they're seeking a new residence after Ray Waller was forced to retire from baseball because he got ill. Then he purchased this former residence of the family in the beginning of the movie. Then, of course, our lead guy, Ray, scratches his hand while working to clear out the pool in the backyard, and the pool maintenance comes to inspect it, and they reveal the pool is left self-sustaining and taking its water from an underground spring in the area. And, that's how the movie begins. From there, and you know exactly what kind of movie you're going to get. A sucky January one. These scary scenes, they're not scary, and you can tell when a so-called scary scene is gonna come. And that easily sucks for me because the build-ups are not great, and the jump scares are the obvious startles, like in every one of Blumhouse's movies nowadays. The actors, I will admit, try to put an effort, make it engaging, but their efforts went way too slow and far. This horror movie revolves around a literal swimming pool, and when the first event occurs, everything just feels like a stretch from there. It literally just feels like it's better being a short film, which it literally was based off of. Even that could have been, but even then it would have had to be drawn out better. The concept is derivative here, and it's reminiscent of horror movies that have already been done before, like a super entity grants wishes, but at a cost, and trope seen not only in horror, but in other film genres, and the only deviation is that instead of being a demonic entity, it's a swimming pool. Where does that happen? Oh, right. That happened in the Amityville Horror. Literally half this feels like it was stolen from the Amityville Horror. But a concept centered around a haunted pool would be a challenging task for a movie, and Night Swim is easily proof of that, and it's made competently enough. It's cheapy and mundane that you feel out of zone many times. There's no scares or thrills, just brief startles for your so-called scares. And the movie struggles to maintain any tension. And despite the cast trying their best to keep some interest in this film alive, it even has that direct-to-video feel as well. There's little substance to it, just a weak storyline about a killer pool with some demonic malevolent thing referred to as the water, which I'm going to get to what kind of water it is in a bit, and no backstory as to why this water even existed, or what the reason was it for being there. And now we cut to our family characters. Here's how our whole family goes. Okay, checklist. The family. A dad who played baseball, has to retire from an illness. Generic protagonist, check. A mother with no personality, with dumbass lines, check. A daughter with no personality either, check that off. Oh, and a son with a personality that he wants to like baseball because his dad's a baseball player. Check. Overuse of audio stingers and awful jump scares, even for a modern horror movie. Check. All that. And we get, wait. Oh, and also, a generic research, the history of the Cursed Island person segment, check. And this time it involves a water spring. Double check. Just everything you find in every today horror movie. Every time. The writers even tried to make the cinema film more of a family drama, so it's not even a horror movie, like it seems to think it is. Where the family's trying to support the sick father, and they're troubled by the evil forces from the swimming pool. These two ideas do not even come together well in the film, so they end up with more of a messy story where sometimes something that so-called tries to be scary happens in the water, and these scary things linger more around predictable loud jump scares, because that always works in a horror movie. And the only decent thing about this film was the acting was decent. Okay, I'll admit that. The characters were boring, but their acting was decent. The cast does try to elevate the material, but are constantly hampered by a production that refuses to dare itself. When you see the evil presence, the game is up. Everything that worked in the opening part dissolves, and it goes downhill at the rate of knots. The ridiculous attempt at the origin of the evil does not work, and at this point you're just done caring. The derivative acting at best does nothing to help, likewise with the lack of any depth to the characters. And the camera work, it's bland. Despite the decent performances from the cast as well, their dialogue is even laughable. And I'll get to some laughable lines in a bit. The use of jump scares are annoying. And at times, these so-called attempts at jump scares are just unintentionally hilarious. And now, when it comes to laughable dialogue, here's some really examples of that. In several scenes, you get to hear some stupid, immature dialogue. In some scenes, like when the kids are being dropped off at their schools, their bye to each other is "see you later, dipshit," and "later, fartbag," between the two kids. Yeah, these kids are already great to watch. This great thing, I don't know what kind of storytelling that is. Good fucking job. Or hell, this realtor lady that sells them the house, there's a part of the cookout scene where she brings them rum pudding, and in one part she's like, "I didn't want to put poo in the pudding." Wow. Did a toddler? Wow. Did Jason Blum bring a 3-year-old to the studio and literally just decided, "Hey, go ahead, kid. You could go ahead and go ahead and look at my script I wrote for this. You could put whatever you want in this next part." And so that's probably what happened. So yeah, this line was clearly written by a toddler who got to visit the set of Night Swim. And even like during the family's intro when they find the pool, there was even a random scene where there's a cricket in the pool. Why is there cricket in the pool? No reason. It's just there for filler. Or like one part, the mom goes swimming in the pool and sees their family cat look terrified, and she asks it, "Are you afraid? Don't you want to go swim in the pool?" Wow! Ask the cat if they want to go swimming in the pool. Does this dumb bitch not know? Cats can't fucking swim. Because they'll fucking drown. And it's clearly afraid of the demon in the water, and the demon predictably kills it off screen. Like, the mom is like, she gets suspicious, but she's like, "Don't you want to swim in the pool?" What? Yeah, let's ask a cat to go swim in the pool and drown. That's good storytelling. This film just sucks at dialogue and stealing from other movies like Amityville Horror or Jaws or The Abyss. Like, wow. Now, yeah, screw this. Like, I don't know why anyone would give a shit about this movie. There's plenty of horror films I'd rather watch over this. Like, let's pick a horror movie off the shelf here. Oh, I'd rather watch Jaws. Yeah, which is better than this. Would rather watch The Abyss. Better than that movie. Would rather watch The Mist. Would rather watch John Carpenter's The Thing. Would rather watch John Carpenter's The Fog. Like, and get this. Like, this film, yeah. This film basically stole from Amityville Horror, except the difference is Amityville Horror is a house. Night Swim is a swimming pool of evil water. Amityville including, except the difference was, the Amityville Horror and the Amityville remake were both fucking original, and they didn't try to copy each other, and they had some good, decent scares, and they had a clear plan and story. This film, Blumhouse just probably watched either of those versions, and they wanted their own version of those two movies with a swimming pool. Wait. Oh, wait a minute. I almost forgot to mention this part. You want to know the best part of it? about this movie, guys? Out of the gutters, there's actually ghost diarrhea that possesses Wyatt and enters Wyatt's mouth. Because isn't that great? There's actually ghost poop that enters Wyatt's mouth to possess him. Like, what else was missing from this? Oh, was probably I'm surprised we didn't have a shot of the actual ghost literally sticking its butthole into Wyatt's mouth to do it. Not only, now we have like two kids saying bye to each other in crude toddler words, and a woman saying she don't want to put poop in rum pudding. We didn't have a scene with the mom swimming and asking her pet cat if it wants to swim in the pool. The final hammer in the final nail to the coffin of this movie is the cloud of fucking ghost diarrhea. And that's because the idiot hack Jason Blum thought it'd be a great idea. So the idiots at Blumhouse wrote it down and then filmed it on camera. How this probably went was Blumhouse was probably like, yeah, you know what people would really want to see? Some bunch of ghost diarrhea. Why? Because no movie ever does it in their horror films. It would be creative if we start doing horror movies where people possessed ghosts got possessed by ghost crap out of their asses. Doesn't that sound like a scary ass type of the movies? Doesn't that sound like a really scary scene to put in a horror film? No, it fucking doesn't. Like, holy crap. I'd rather watch any bloody toddler show than ever watch something like this. Hell, even some episodes of SpongeBob are scarier than this fucking movie. Literally. So yeah. The fact that Blumhouse was probably decided to just steal from Amityville Horror to get this movie done is a perfect sign that he's so creative at horror movies. No, I'm sorry. Jason Blum, dude, you're a fucking idiot. You're easily a greedy fucking idiot, no doubt. Because the guy could literally confirmed Exorcist Deceiver during a strike. And honestly, like, I'm be surprised if it even gets made, considering Exorcist Believer was also a shitty movie. Like, how does this movie even end? Well, after the cookout scene, and after learning the origin of the diarrhea poop water, the mom tracks down the Fuller family after they learned that there was this long history of disappearances in the house. So, the mom meets with the first beginning child's mom, and she explains that the water sustains the pool was part of a healing spring, and in order to use the water, someone had to be sacrificed to it. So, that mom was compelled to sacrifice her daughter to the pool creature to heal her brother from his illness. So, our lead mom is horrified, and they realize that since now Wyatt's character was now healed by the pool, it's going to take her son as a sacrifice. So, the mom returns to her house to find, of course, also like in Amityville Horror, the dad is now being directly controlled by the entity, which also happens in Amityville Horror, the whole plot. So, he then traps the son in the pool, and so the mom tries to save her son, while the daughter, who is sent to try to find dad, after finding her brother trapped in the pool, she stupidly slips on water, doesn't look where she's fucking going, cuts her hand on glass, and confronts the entity possessing her father, and even pulls off some of her hair. And then later, the daughter assaults the dad with a baseball bat. So the mom manages to retrieve the son, gets guided to the surface of the pool by Rebecca's spirit, and then, once back in the garden, the daughter's assault and the dad's bad health condition and the son's condition, they help the dad regain control of himself. So he's back to normal, like that also happens at the end of Amityville Horror. Except unlike Amityville Horror, where the dad lives, this dad here decides to stop the entity attacking his children, and Ray sacrifices himself to it. And how does he sacrifice himself? Remember the ghost poop water? Well, guess what? The dad then swims into the fucking ghost poop water to die. Yeah, because Jason Blum thought that was a great fucking idea to do ghost poop water for its demon. Yeah, so, and then after that ends, like, even though the rest of this movie ends, like, how this movie ends, like, I barely give a fuck. The remaining family remains in the house so that no one else falls victim to the entity. And so guess what? Their whole family that's left, the two children and the mom, with no personalities of any kind, they make arrangements for the pool to be filled in to stop such a thing from happening again. Well, guess what, guys? It will probably happen again even if you fill it with dirt. And again, if they stay there anyway, you think it's going to be better if they stay in that damn house? Because I bet the ghost poop water will overflow the dirt and ruin the dirt because water ruins dirt and makes it all mushy. So they'll find a way to refill the pool so they're still fucked. Plus, guess what? Remember the cookout scene where we first saw the poop water? Well, guess what? It attacked one of the coach's kids once Wyatt was possessed. And that coach was like, don't come to tryouts again. So I don't think that son is going to be allowed back on tryouts after that whole incident. Guess what? And also, the daughter won't regain her boyfriend, which in one scene, her boyfriend visits and they play Marco Polo, which is literally the teaser scene that got spoiled in the teaser. And she nearly got attacked by the demon, which also looks like some tar naked person. Literally, you see a brief glimpse of it, and it looks like a person that's naked with tar on its body. And also, the mom's reputation is probably going to be down the toilet. So no good comes out of this. Yay! Way to fucking go. Brilliant fucking storytelling right there. Like, I get this was your first movie. They probably must have thought they could have pulled the same heart-tugging moment at the end of The Conjuring. But except the thing is, unlike The Conjuring, which was done creatively well, and James Wan was a better director than Jason Blum, the execution of Night Swim here is clunky and out of place. Like, seriously. And also, this dad here was boring and unlikable, and we're sitting there, and honestly, most of the time I was just sitting there rolling my eyes instead of feeling this family's plight. But, with that being said, guys, the only reason it's saved from being buried and burned into horseshit ranking are this. Good qualities. The shots, there are some shots of the movie that are quite pleasing, and the lighting is on point. The actors, despite the characters sucking, did their best with the scant material. And that's it. And it can be watched because it's hilariously bad. Almost as bad as finding poop in public swimming pools that the toddlers leave behind and has to be cleaned out. So at the end of the day, it's basically just feels like some short film that just gets a bunch of filler to be turned into a movie and has zero substance to carry into a feature-length film. Whatever, I don't care, I'm done, I'm not making this long, I don't want to talk about this fucking movie anymore, I'm done. So in the end, Night Swim. It's a boring ass avoid, no doubt, and there's better films you can see to kick off 2024. Hell, you could just wait for, if you want an action film to kick off 2024, wait for The Beekeeper. That's coming out this week, and that looks better than this movie. It probably will be. Or any movies that came out in December that are not shitty January releases. Anyways, guys, that's it for my rant on Night Swim. And if we're going to rank Night Swim, here's how I'm going to rank this movie. So overall, unless you are willing to see ghost feces possess people or watch a boring drama with no scares, then be smart and avoid this film because all it is a bunch of turds that get left in outdoor public swimming pools during swim lessons. And if you're wondering how to rank Night Swim, I'm going to give Night Swim a 3 out of 10. There we go, guys. That wraps up my epic rant for Night Swim, or as I call it, Night Shit. Or as I call it, Diarrhea Swim. To fit the ghost poop water. Man, oh my god. I really hope 2024 cannot be a shitty year, please. It's already off to a shitty start with this movie, so I hope this is only the beginning. 2023 sucked. I wouldn't be surprised if 2024 sucks as well. But hopefully The Beekeeper can be a fun experience. And I hope The Fall Guy can be good. But we'll see what happens the rest of this year. Till then, guys, that will be it for this epic rant. Thank you all for watching. If you like this, want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to Don G. Corleone.